Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and this is my participation in the Polisk comic book tag. I was tagged by Carlos. Thanks a lot, Carlos. First off, I would like to really know who it is that came up with this tag in the first place, that wanted to see our pull list, because I'd really like to thank you for drawing to the attention how many books I get in a month. Because you see it stacked up, and it's almost alarming. So let's get right into it, because I have no idea how long this video is going to take. I don't think I'm going to talk a whole bunch about a bunch of these books, because otherwise it really will take a long time. So let's just jump right in. These books are in no particular order, really. They're kind of in the order that I got them and I read them. And I've stacked them up because the rest of my family reads most of my comics too. They're a bit behind. So that's why I don't have them stacked up like DC, Marvel, Independent. They're kind of in a somewhat order as to how I get them and I read them when I get them on a weekly basis. So they're kind of still stuck in that kind of a thing. So that's the order I'm kind of basically going to go with them in. I think I pulled most of the books that are on my pull. I'll talk a little about the ones that I don't actually physically have a book right offhand, because I don't want to dig through the piles of disaster behind me. So, anyway, Batwoman. Still collecting Batwoman. We got the new writer, new creator, new artist, all that kind of stuff. Still hoping that something's going to come of it. I think some special things could be coming. Granted, it's not the old book, but I'm willing to venture into a new book with basically new people and see what kind of stories they can tell me. Okay. Next up, Justice League Dark. Kind of groaning with this thing right now. The whole Forever Evil stuff has kind of got this thing off in a direction that I don't particularly care for. So really hoping that it shifts back. If it doesn't shift back soon after the Forever Evil thing into something I'm interested in reading, I may be dropping it. I say that, I doubt I will. I like the Magic characters too much. Superman Unchained, painfully got a few more issues of this. I'm not really digging it. I know some people are. I'm not particularly, but I'm so far into it, I figure, what the heck, I might as well, keep getting it. So I'm gonna at least, finish out the 9 issues. It's ending then, so a couple more months, and then that will be all done. So there's that. Spirit Foes of Spider-Man. I don't know how long this is gonna last as we roll into, Spirit Spider-Man going away and Parker coming back. I don't know what the longevity of this book is, but I am gonna keep picking up. It's fun. It's just kind of a quirky, lots of wink, wink, nudges through it to just kind of all the absurdities that goes on with this group of villains. They're just fun. It's a fun book. It's fun to laugh at, and as it pokes fun at all that stuff. Let's see. Dead Boy Detectives. I'm enjoying the book. I'm not sure exactly how I want to talk about it for sure, but there are aspects of it I really enjoy. Definitely going to at least be getting it, it's on my pull for now, at least through the first arc, to see what all it's going to tell me and what all is going on in it, and it is going to fit all my wants for the book. So, let's see. Abe Sapien. Definitely going to keep keeping this book. I really enjoy it. I like kind of Abe's exploration of the world, of the Hellboy world, in its kind of, almost death throes kind of a thing, as he explores what it means to be who he is in this world, being this kind of fish man. Is, the questioning is he the next generation of man to walk the earth? Is he what's supposed to inherit the earth as these giant monsters are crushing so much of the planet and stuff? So really interesting from all those aspects. Usually has some pretty cool art in it and whatnot, and some cool monster bashing. So FBP. Of course, Federal Bureau of Physics, or as most of us cool kids call it, Collider. I'm really enjoying the book. I like the group of people that are in the book. I like the look of the book. It's just got kind of an interesting flavor. It throws enough science in there that I get a kick out of that. I like the whole flirting with alternate dimensions kind of thing. I like the bureaucracy that's going on with the private insurance companies protecting you from from physics mishaps and this kind of now low down, marginally defunct government agency that's also trying to work the same cases and stuff too. Just kind of a really cool on a number of levels. So I'm digging it. There's some greater mysteries going on too that I'm curious. So definitely keeping that on the poll. Fatale. Don't know. We have a lot more issues left of it. This is 19, so we've got like I think 5 more months. Definitely be on my poll through the rest of that. Just really like it. The Josephine character, she is really interesting. At times, she's such a powerful and creative and forceful, forceful piece of nature in the world that she functions in, and sometimes she is a train wreck victim. Just kind of crashing through things to try and survive out the other end of it. Both types of stories I've really enjoyed in this. Really fascinated to see possibly how this whole thing they might tie it up if they're going to give it some sort of an actual really concrete ending at the end. Really cool. 5 Ghosts, just a really fun romp. I love this book just for the actually lots of times lack of dialogue, just big action. And the big action is actually relatively simple, but it's just kind of cool with these kind of ghosts showing up. You see them, you see how they're influencing his actions and the special stuff that he does. It's just a fun book. I mean, I don't know that it's some earth-shattering, great piece of fiction or challenging the genre or any of those kinds of things. It's more like old-fashioned Saturday morning cartoon for the sake of being a Saturday morning cartoon and not selling me something. Kind of a great book, and so I'm on it and I'll stay on it. Love for that. Let's see, letter 44. As long as it's going on, I'm probably going to keep collecting it. The art I'm not as so excited by. Plot is pretty intriguing. I really want to know what's going on with the people in space. Less interested in the stuff that's going on Earth than I thought I would be, because I thought I would enjoy that political intrigue. But the space stuff, the dynamics of the crew themselves, the woman going to have a baby, plus the fact they're potentially going to be engaging with aliens at some point, I would guess. So all really interesting, cool stuff. So I'm on board for that to see what the surprises end up being. Charles Soule book, good stuff. Manifest Destiny. I love this book. Love the art style. This kind of classic illustrated look almost, with the coloring, with the ruddy cheeks, the red noses, that sort of thing. So I'm digging it for that. I like the setting. This, Lewis and Clark exploring what's out there. And we've just had some really bizarre stuff. It's going to basically, but it feels to me like this book to some degree is going to be Lewis and Clark meets H.P. Lovecraft. That sort of a just kind of clashing of those two types of things, but not as dry as H.P. Lovecraft. Obviously, a bit more, I don't know, humor, what I would do, but a bit more humanity than what some of the H.P. Lovecraft stuff had. But so staying on board with it for the foreseeable future. It's just been kind of really cool and fun. Sex Criminals. Yep. Gonna be on it in this book until the silliness reaches a point to where there doesn't feel like there's some point at the end of it. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I'm really enjoying the book. The book has had many layers to it. I feel like we're starting to settle into what the book is really going to be like now. So those first issues were great, interesting, sweet reads and stuff. Now I think we're going to kind of land in a place that I don't know how long this book can go on, how long the whole, whatever this story is going to be, but for however long it is, I think I'm on board to read it. Like I said, unless it goes off the pointless end too much, and then maybe not. But otherwise, fun stuff. We'll keep reading it. Oh, move some of my books that I'm not. Swamp Thing. Yeah, I'm sticking on this. Been loving the book anyway. Charles Soule on it obviously is just, I think, writing an excellent Swamp Thing. Probably better even than most of the Scott Snyder run. There's some early books of Scott Snyder's run I really, really liked. But this has just been firing on all cylinders. Really enjoy it. Alex Holland, embracing the Avatar and all that stuff, and all the different aspects that have come along with that. Really, really interesting. Very curious to see where the book continues to go. Very, very much enjoyed it. Great stuff. Probably more people should be reading that, so there's no threat of it going away. Suicide Risk, not the book that I originally thought it was going to be, but still really enjoying it anyway. Incredibly dynamic. Just really strange stuff goes on in it. Well, not strange so much as just this, it kind of goes off, and we have superheroes taking over, or villains taking over a country. This super powerful Requiem character who's a split personality with our character, with our main character who's been this policeman, kind of the good guy through this whole thing. Just crazy dynamics in it. Really enjoying it. Glad I've stuck with it. Just a very, very interesting read. Not like tons of oh my gosh necessarily, but just really interesting to see where the story is going at. I believe kind of a Mike Carey kind of a way of doing things, and I'm enjoying that with this book. Oh, my stack is tipping over. Green Arrow. Really liking the Outsiders War I started out with. They've introduced some characters I'm excited about introducing them. They make sense. With this currently, they kind of flirt with Katana being part of this whole thing. That's cool. Having her be one of these part of one of these clans, all makes perfect sense. I kind of like the idea of this new Green Arrow because it's not my Green Arrow. It's not the Ollie with the great beard and the kind of smart ass charm that he used to have, and some of the older wisdom that comes along with having had a lot of hard knocks. We got this younger, brasher Oliver. And I'm fine with that for being what it is. I'm excited about this kind of thing. It's interesting giving him this background that they're kind of giving him where he almost has, but potentially a kind of a martial arts mystic kind of a bent almost to his skill and abilities and that sort of thing. I really kind of like that. It separates him from the old Green Arrow, but gives him enough of his own thing that makes him different from just being, Batman with a bow kind of a thing. So, cool. Digging that. Yeah. Arkham War. This is on my pull until the end. Why? I don't know. I have not enjoyed it. It's been ridiculous. But yeah, there it is. One of those things that I'm far enough into it now. I'm going to finish it out 6 issues on issue 4 or whatever. So yeah. Earth 2. Loving the Earth 2. Earth 2 is a great book. This new writer that's on the book is just kind of taking the reins and really shooting forward with it. We got crazy exciting things like Apocalypse Superman, this new Batman that in this latest annual that came out, we got this extra dynamics there. Lois Lane is Red Tornado. We're just kind of going all over the place. Some just huge stuff's happening. Pretty exciting. Really definitely back on board with the book. It's one of the more exciting superhero books that feels like something's actually happening in. Detective Comics, of course I'm picking this up. It's one of those books I pick up. If I'm collecting comics, I collect Detective Comics. It's kind of always feels like it's one of the main books of the DC line. Got this whole Goftopia thing running in the current storyline. Not really keen on that. We'll see where that goes and whatnot. Looking forward to the Francis Manapool and Brad Buccellato getting on the book and seeing what their take is on Detective, because I think since the New 52, Detective has unfortunately been a shaky book in a lot of cases. Parts of the John Layman and Fabok line books have been good. Some of them not as much. Jason Fabok's art's always been outstanding in it. I mean, he's I think a stellar superhero comic book artist. But yeah, always be picking that up in one sense or another. Six Gun, of course I'm picking this up, and we'll continue to pick it up until issue 50. We're somewhere like on 37, 38, something like that's where we're at right now. So I will keep getting it. I'll get it through the end. Really love all these characters in here. The world itself is interesting. The dynamics that are going on, the possibilities and the what ifs and the what has happened and what might happen. All of those whats, to me make a very exciting comic. And it's the journey all the way along has been satisfying as we see some of these characters change and develop and become other things. Just great stuff. Drake Sinclair, one of the main characters in here, falls into this kind of quasi top 10 category of characters that I really, really like, despite all of the maybe wrong or not the best choices morally that they make. Makes them a really interesting character. And Becky's an awesome female protagonist in it who's really changed from the beginning to where she is now. Another great stuff. BPRD, currently called Hell on Earth, also loving the BPRD book. I don't think it ever really fails. The story itself, I think, is always interesting. It's always moving something forward, always just building more into this really rich environment of, right now, hell on Earth, basically, because the Earth's been cracked open. Monsters are pouring out, and some of these monsters are the size of mountains. All this craziness happening. Had a little bit of shaky moments for a little bit when we had an artist that I don't think very many of us cared for. Back to some great artists now. Expect to have more exciting things. Really look forward to seeing where this goes. I mean, is the Earth going to shut down at some point? Is this whole thing going to just, is the whole machine going to crash? I would assume not, because then they don't have this title to keep putting out there, and we're in the hundreds now. But it feels like it could. It really still feels like it's tipping in a direction that the whole thing could just come completely apart and there be nothing left of humanity. But really interesting, cool book. Coffin Hill, on board with this. I'm enjoying it. I kind of like the kind of quasi ghost story-esque, old family, old history, old, mythical secrets that are hidden away in closets that occasionally get cracked open and let some of this stuff out into the world, and what kind of havoc it causes, and what happens when you've had multiple generations of witches messing around with stuff in the forest, and what does that create, what does it develop, all kinds of interesting questions that fall within this book that I think is really, really interesting and getting better all the time. The narrative is getting much better in it, I think, and interesting. The art in it is outstanding, just really cool on a number of levels. There's some things about this book just aesthetically really pleased to me. I love that each of the witches kind of have a presence. The main characters is like ravens, and so there's always these crows, and these feathers are always flying off of her when she's cranking out the powers. Mom's is like flies, and it just really... things like that just make it really kind of cool. Astro City, got a few more issues of this I'm picking up, so it's still on my pull list. I'm waiting to get to the end of the Wing Victory story arc, and then I'm going to actually go to trades with this, so it'll be off my pull list then. I'm enjoying it, but I think I'm going to enjoy it more in more of a long book form type of a story. I think that's how I'm going to enjoy reading the dynamics that are in it. All right, let me organize my stack here so it doesn't all fall over. Kill small children or animals. Batgirl. Yeah, I'm going to keep picking up Batgirl. I'm enjoying Batgirl. This is a Goctopia issue, which was kind of a throwaway, it felt like. Looking forward to seeing what's next for Batgirl after this last Wanted arc ended with, her where her relationship's going to be with her father at this point, where her relationship was going to be with, her potential boyfriend, her roommate, all of this stuff. This is one of those books that Gail Simone is writing really well, and it's really interesting, and there's a lot of moving pieces going on, and all those moving pieces are really cool and really enjoying them. Justice League 3000. I get a kick out of this book. I read it more for the laughs of the dysfunction of these newly created, reconstituted Justice League members who are missing large chunks of their memory and some of their powers, and how that all collides together as they're trying to free basically the universe from some overpowering dictatorship. Just fun. It's just a fun book, and so I enjoy it. Justice League of America, yeah, I'm still picking up this thing as it drags, waiting for Forever Evil to end. It's going to shift to Justice League United, which when it shifts to Justice League United, I will be picking up that book then too. Curious about the new members they're going to do into that. Curious about the doing some space stuff and doing some on Earth stuff, and exactly what Jeff Lemire might do with the team and what kind of stories we can experience. So I'll definitely be getting up that. Excuse me, why? Take a drink. Hey, I think we're more than halfway through. Okay. Marvel Knight Hulk. Been loving these Marvel Knight books. Really especially loving the Marvel Knight Hulk. Got two more 2 more issues of it, just good fun. At this point, even if it wasn't good fun, I'd pick up the next 2 issues just because I'm already that far in to have the whole set, so I can give the whole set away if I didn't like it. But I love it. It's actually a lot of fun. So yeah, there's that Marvel Knight one. Got another one of those coming up here pretty soon too. Suicide Squad, it's on my pull for a little bit longer. It's actually getting canceled, I think. I think my latest order, I ordered a Waller one-shot. It has to do with the Suicide Squad. Now I'm on board with it again. I read the first few issues, skipped a whole bunch, got back on it. Kind of bummed that it's going away because I actually kind of really like the team and what's going on and just the deeper story that's involved in their personalities with each other, not necessarily the missions so much, but just the whole Waller, Harley, the rest of the team, and Jim Gordon Jr., their dynamics all together are really interesting. So, but that's going away pretty quickly. Animal Man, another one that's going away, but I will keep getting it until it's done. I think we got like 3 more issues left of it. Has been a great book. It's one of those books where they can have some superheroics going on, and there's this family dynamic that is really important to the book, that makes it interesting, makes it more complicated, makes us as readers, I think, read it and go, oh man, how is that going to work, or what would that be like, or all those kinds of things that make it a different book than all the other books that are out there. Really enjoying it, but it's going away. But I might pull until it's gone. Batman, of course I'm getting Batman. Got this whole 0-year thing going on, which I'm as a whole am enjoying. I can't see anything happening on this book that would suddenly make me decide to quit getting it. Batman's just another one of those staples that I'm going to read some Batman books. Obviously I'm going to read the Batman one. Captain America. Not sure how much longer I'm going to be on Captain America. I enjoyed it when it was kind of a, in another dimension, him struggling, him questioning everything. That was cool. Not 100% sold on what's going on now. We got Nuke in there, and I'm not real keen on that character. But we'll see where it goes. I've got a few more issues. They're going to be bringing Jet Black back in. I like that character. She's interesting to me. See what they do with her. See what Remender does with her. And I'm learning more and more to trust that Remender is going to give me something somewhere down the road. So hopefully this arc that isn't as exciting as the last one, there's going to be some payout here pretty soon on that. So I'm looking forward to that. Still on the poll for a while. Harley Quinn, a book I wasn't going to have on the poll. It is on the poll now. Just a fun book. You read this book and you think, man, comics are fun. Despite the blood, mayhem, and other stuff that goes on there, it's just a really fun book. I enjoy it. The art is awesome. I have to say that Chad Harding, I believe his name is incredible at facial features and different facial features. I think in this issue alone, issue 2, there is probably 14 different facial features, I would say, or more, in this comic alone, of different emotions that Harley has. And it's not like he uses the same, lots of artists will use the same kind of, smile or frown or whatever throughout the whole book. That's the emotion the character's going to have. It's going to look like this. I mean, he's just got this wide array of faces, and that's an impressive skill in comics. So excited about that book for that. Hawkeye, or as some of the cool kids call it, Hawkeye. Digging Hawkeye. I love the Kate Bishop stories. I actually like the Clinton Bart stories too. I like the Bro brothers. I'm fine with that also. I know there's a bigger picture being painted amongst the train wreck that is the personal lives of these 2 Hawkeyes. And I'm liking seeing that coming together. But I also like the little moments and the quiet moments and the sometimes somewhat disturbing moments that are in this book. Still really digging it. On my poll, stay on my poll for sure. New Invaders, unfortunately, is on my poll for a few issues, but I'm dropping it. But the way I buy my comics, that just didn't do anything for me at all, so there we are. Regular Justice League. I'm on it for now, but it's actually on my list to drop depending on what the team ends up being like after Forever Evil and what's going forward. I've heard rumors, things like Lex Luthor might be on the team. That might make me want to continue to read it. We'll see. But I've never been super excited by this book, and we're on 27 now. So I start questioning why am I getting it when it doesn't have enough moments for me. But we'll see. we'll see. I'm curious to see what the dynamics are going to be like. So it's on the pull for a while. Marvel Knights X-Men. It's turned out to be a great book. It's on my pull for a couple more issues, and then it ends. Any more Marvel Knight books come up, I'm going to be picking them up, just because as a whole, I've really dug most of them. Supergirl, I've talked before about dropping this book, got close to it, heard she's going to be a Red Lantern, so I'm sticking with the book. We'll see what comes out of the other side of Red Lanterns. We'll see what Tony Bedard ends up doing with the book out the other side of it. I've liked some of his writing in the past, so we'll see if he can move her past some of the issues I've had with the character in the past, and make an enjoyable book. So I'm on for now until somebody proves to me it's going to be a train wreck again, and then I'm done. I'm getting there. Wonder Woman. Of course this is on my pull. Of course it's going to stay on my pull. This is one of the best books out. Not just in DC, one of the best books out. There are moments throughout this book, this long, impressive story of the retelling of the Greek gods and how they would function in modern society in some fashion, how they'd function when one of their daughters, chooses to potentially be a superhero, or if nothing else, just chooses to go against them because she's got her own moral code, and these gods don't seem to have any. They kind of play by their own rules, and she thinks that's abhorrent to some degree. And Brian Arezzo just does some incredible writing here, some just really great moments. This issue in particular had some great moments of Hera with her struggle with mortality now. Just great stuff. I'm crazy not to be reading it. Dead Body Road, it is. It's still on my pull list. I'm gonna finish the thing out, so I have the whole thing. So, somewhat curious to see where it goes, but it's not really that exciting. So that's that. Pretty Deadly, staying on my pull list. I'm really enjoying it. I love the setting. I like the kind of the Western folktale, mythic adventure on. The art in it is incredible. And I just kind of want to see where this whole folk tale rolls itself out into. For me, it's been really cool. And this is one of those books that the imageries capture me enough to hold me over if there's moments in the story that don't jive quite well with me or whatever. This wonderful young girl with her two different colored eyes and her vulture cloak and all that kind of stuff. I really dig. I really enjoy. So. Really loving the art and stuff in that. Great book. The Massive. I'm riding this thing out. I've been enjoying it. It's its own odd kind of book. It's closer to being a novel with pictures in some sense than sequential art. And I don't know that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just how I want to describe it today, I guess. Still, you're really enjoying it. It's interesting. It delves into politics and what if questions, and the characters are complex. They've got these pretty hefty issues going on, and just curious to see how they deal with those issues amongst the chaos of what's going on in the Massive. Bedlam, man, I don't know. This is one of those books it's on my pull list still now, but it's a kind of a struggle. I'm not keen on the art, but there's some dynamics going on that I really want to see where that ends at. I really want to know some answers out there. So on board for now. The art may chase me away, and then I'll just wait to hear what other people say about it. But for now I'm on board. Deadliest Class. This is issue number one. I'm on board for the time being. I love the first issue. Love the pace of it, and some of that other interesting stuff. So I'm excited about that, and really curious to see where it goes at, and if we're going to get into some more school dynamics or exactly what. Just lots of things were perfectly set up in this to have me excited to see what's next. East to West, I think has just been excellent. The last 4 issues at least have just been really good. The layers of politics that are involved, those dynamics are awesome. The graphics that are inside, the info stuff that's inside, that stuff's all really cool too. Yeah, I love the cover, the great sayings that are in it. I've already said that. The art is fabulous. The setting, this kind of weird Western thing, just cool stuff. It's staying on my pole. Black Science, another one that I'm really excited about. It's staying on my poll for sure. You know, I don't think it's the next saga, but it's interesting. The little bit of science we're getting is cool. You get all these dynamic characters. We're getting the different layers of them, where they come from, why they're at, why are they players in this. You know, how are all these moving pieces going to click all together or not click together? All really interesting stuff that makes for a great story, regardless of the setting it's in. So, great stuff. Saga. Of course, it stayed on my pull list. There doesn't a month go by that this book comes out that I don't talk highly of it. The amazing dialogue in it's the interactions between this family and the greater family that's out there, and the other dynamics that are chasing them down. I don't particularly care whether they actually make it anywhere or not. Just their interactions while this stuff's going on makes it worth the price of the book. And Lion Cat, come on. Batman and Robin, of course, probably my favorite Batman book. Has the most cool stuff going on it. Really enjoy it. So it's the top of my list as far as Batman books go, and it's been great. Tomasi writes Batman and his relationship with other people probably better than anybody other writer does, I believe. Patrick Gleason on art normally does some amazing work. He does some amazing work of silent stuff where there is no writing, there is no text boxes. You're just looking at his pictures and you understand what is going on in the story. Just been digging it, and of course I'm not dropping it because all kinds of crazy stuff's happening coming up. He's going to be teaming up with Aquaman. He's going to be teaming up with Wonder Woman. It's going to be just great stuff. Revival. I'm digging the book. I'm digging all the complexities. We get some potential answers in here, or really what we get is we get some added theories, and these added theories feel really strong right now. Will they hold up? I don't know. We'll have to read to see. But I love all the pieces that are moving here. To me, this is like I don't know, Spoon River meets Twin Peaks, and those are probably references that most people probably don't know one sense or another. Twin Peaks being this really strange, odd, you never knew what was going to happen TV show, and Spoon River basically being this giant anthology of poems of all these people who live in the town of Spoon River. And so they all each have their own little story, and then all those stories kind of click together to make this place. And that's how this is. There's all these people. They all have their own lives. They all have their own dynamics. And somehow all these little pieces kind of click together at times to make this larger, interesting, moving piece. The entire place is alive. And no point does it feel flat. There's just so much going on. And I don't think that's so much going on in a bad way. It's just, there's just all these different possibilities. And to me, that's awesome. Great stuff. The Bounce. Continuing to ride this book out. It always just has enough stuff in it for me to go, oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. I'm going to see where this goes. Few more issues, and I'm not sure if the series is still going on after that. Few more issues. All this stuff's supposed to be, this initial stuff's supposed to be tied up. Then I'll make a decision if the book is going to go farther than that. Do I want to keep reading it past this initial, WTF, trying to figure out why things are the way they are, why these people have powers, who are these other, governmental and other private financed figures that are manipulating stuff. What does that all mean? We're supposed to be getting an answer to that soon. And after I get that answer, if the book's going to continue, I'll decide whether I'm going to keep going with it. But I'm hanging around at least to find out what those answers are. Samurai Jack! Actually, I was going to drop this. Solicitation is coming up a few months from now. It's got one of my favorite characters. It's got the Scotsman in it, and I loved that when they were on the TV show together. So I'm hanging on for a while longer. The reason I am thinking this is going to go off my pull list at some point is it's one of the more spendier books that I buy. It has the least amount of discount on it, and I still enjoy throwing in the cartoon, pulling out the DVDs and watching the cartoon better than reading the book. Not that there's anything wrong with the book, but I like those cartoons better. There's things about this that are missing that are in the cartoon, and so which one's the greater? I like that, so I'm going to move away from this at some point after that. So I'm still not done. I don't have comics for some of these things, but I want to talk about some other books that are coming up on my pull list. I'm going to be getting The Veil. It's a Dark Horse comic written by Greg Rucka. It's kind of his first venture into horror. Curious to see what it's going to be about. It's about this woman who wakes up in a dirty, rat-infested part of a New York subway, naked and doesn't know who she is, seemingly, and her venturing up top and what all potentially happens in there. So, very curious about that. Let me see, what else do I have on my list? There's a couple of things. Jupiter's Legacy. Didn't have a book right here. Still collecting Jupiter's Legacy. There's some complex stuff going on there. I'm curious to see where the world's going to go to now. To some degree, it's unfortunate that it comes out like every other month, so it feels like a long time between books, and so sometimes I get unexcited by it, and then I read it, and then I'm back to being excited by it, and then I have time to get unexcited. So at some point, if things start to falter, then I may jump away from the book. Right now, still on it. Another one, Lazarus. Don't have a book right here. Lazarus, I think, is really awesome story. This near future, learning about forever and what it means to be a Lazarus, what it means to be part of one of these, one of these 30, rich families who basically control everything through corporations and whatnot. Great book. I'm still really enjoying that. Love that kind of thing. I dig in that. Books that are coming out right now, I'm going to be getting at the beginning of my pull list. Loki, Agent of Asgard. Haven't read my issue yet. I'll get it in a day or two. Excited about that. Another book I'm going to be getting is Mercenary Sea. It's an image book written by the man who wrote, the person who wrote I Heart Trouble. I have no idea really what the book's going to be like. I'm just blindly, that looks like it might be fun, blindly picking it up on Blind Faith. We'll hear about it when I actually get to it. But that's what's going to. Ms. Marvel is going to go on my pull list. I don't have that first issue yet, but it definitely going to be talking about that. She-Hulk. She-Hulk's going to be on my pull list for a while. Want to see where that goes. Yet another Charles Soule book. He's been fired all cinders. I don't see why it would continue to be good. 10 grand. I'm going to keep picking up 10 grand as long as it comes out. I'm enjoying the story. I don't mind the art change. So I will roll on with that. Got a few Trillium left, before it's done, so I'll be obviously finishing that out. The Wake, I'm going to be getting that obviously till it ends out. That has been an outstanding book. Really digging that. A few more issues of it. I think there's like 3 or 4 more issues left of it, so I'll be getting The Wake. Moon Knight, I'm picking up Moon Knight when it comes out. It's on my pull now. A new Moon Knight book written by Warren Ellis. Pretty excited by that. Is that it? Stray Bullets. Stray Bullets is going to be coming out. I have not read the old Stray Bullets, but the old Stray Bullets won all kinds of Eisners and stuff like that. I like a lot of what David Lapham has to say when he has control over his own thing. I need to go back and find those other Stray Bullets. But I'm on board for the next thing. I shouldn't have to know what's going on to enjoy this. I really enjoyed his really bizarre run on Young Liars. So I'm willing to give this a shot too, just to see what kind of adventure he takes me on. So excited to have that on my pull list. I don't know if I actually talked Forever Evil. Of course, it's on my pull list. Almost done, thank God. Bunker, written by Joshua Hale Falkoff. Used to write I, Vampire, went to Marvel. This is an independent book of his. I know it's digital first. I haven't read the digital. I'm going to be picking up the physical copies when it comes out. So kind of on board for that. White Suits is another book I'm looking forward to getting. It is written by the guy who writes Five Ghosts. And it's kind of, it has to do, it's set in the Soviet Union, has to do with the Soviet Mafia and that sort of thing. And I'm not 100% sure if this is people clashing with the Russian mob in Russia, or if it's a particular group of mobsters or whatever, but called White Suits. Looks pretty cool from what I've seen of it. And that's it for stuff on the pull list. I'm sure there's probably some other weird miniseries in there that I'm missing or whatnot, but I'm sure I've talked for forever about just the stuff that's on my pull list. So, I'm supposed to tag people. I'm going to tag Sarah Smash. I think I am going to also tag, because I neglected to look to see who else has done this or not done this. I am going to tag Mr. CDC AMP because I believe he has things on his pull list that he doesn't talk about in his videos. So I kind of want to see what else he's got on his pull list that he's hiding, because I think he's hiding something. And I just want to go out on, I have a few books, and I'm not addicted. I can quit anytime.